welcome back to another how much I spent plus my experience video. I went to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and I had an amazing time. And I want to share with you how much I spent in total and talk about my experience and give you a couple of tips. If you haven't watched my Mexico vlog, you can click the card right up top to watch it, or the video will be in the description box down below so you can watch it after this video. Let's get started. So I stayed at the Zona Romantica in Puerto Vallarta. It's like a mixture of New York City and San Diego because you still get the city feel. There's a lot of restaurants, a lot of things to do, and you really get to experience the culture and speak with the locals. But also, you get the beach feel, right? Like San Diego, you're right by the water and you can relax and unwind. So I think it's a great place to be. Forget about Cancun and Cabo where all the cartels are. Like, there's no cartels in Puerto Vallarta because Puerto Vallarta really relies on tourism. So the cartels know that, hey, that's not a place to go. So out of all the places in Mexico, Puerto Vallarta is one of the safest to travel. My mom and I stayed at the Casa Maria Hotel Boutique and Gallery Hotel, literally right in the city, but also it was 2 blocks away from the beach, so it was perfect. The hotel was beautiful. We stayed there for 4 nights. It was a total of $345. Remember, this is my portion that I paid, so it was $345 that I had to pay. So I flew from Dallas to Puerto Vallarta. It cost $598.86 economy. The food was amazing there, but I really enjoyed Puerto Vallarta and also Mexico in general because things are cheap there. The food was delicious and cheap and I loved it. I spent a total of $154.09 on food. So for transportation, you have a couple of options. You can take the local bus, you can take Uber or a taxi or just walk. We walked and took Uber, and Uber works perfectly fine there. I recommend taking Uber if you're not traveling too far because taxis, you know, they can kind of rip you off, and some of them don't have meters. They can just come up with a number and they drove you, so you have to pay. So Uber is the way to go, honestly. I spent a total of $15.50 on transportation. So for activities, we went zip lining, we went on a vegan food tour, and we went horseback riding. And we had a massage, which I kind of counted as activity because it was a little pricey. So 4 of those cost $250. So for souvenirs, I spent $44.33. Let me show you guys what I got. So first I got this mirror with a crab on it, and it says PTO Vallarta. So that's nice. Then I went to Quale River Island, and they have a whole bunch of like souvenir shops down there. But this girl named Maryam, her mother makes bracelets, and I got one of these. Really pretty pattern. Then of course, you guys know when I travel, I have to collect my shot glasses, not to drink, just to hang up. So I got this shot glass, says Puerto Vallarta, really cute. And then I got this sign. They had so many signs there. I don't know why I didn't look up what this meant in English. I would have never gotten this if I had known it said eggs, because like, why would I want a sign that has eggs on it? I should have asked her what it meant, but I looked it up when I got back. I was like, really? Eggs? So this might go in the kitchen. And then I bought my mom a keychain. I think it just said like Puerto Vallarta. But these were the 4 things that I bought for myself. So total of $44.33. So how much did I spend in total? Drum roll. I spent a total of $1,407.78. Not bad. Not bad. So my first tip is to never exchange your money at the airport. Let me tell you why. I started off with $100 US, right? So I went on to this conversion app that I use. The name of this conversion app will be in the description box down below, but it's a currency conversion app. So $100 right now converts to 1786 pesos, right? So that's an exchange rate of like 17, right? Anything close to 17 is great. The exchange rate at the airport was 13, which means 100 times 13 is 1300. Out of 1786, that's like $400 missing. That could be 2 meals in Puerto Vallarta. So the exchange rate is really bad. I remember hearing a guy next to me complaining. He was like, wait, why is it so low? And he was doing the math on his phone. He was like, no, I'll just wait until I, get out the airport to exchange it. And we were like, no, we're not doing it. So do not exchange at the airport. Exchange in Puerto Vallarta. There are so many banks. I didn't feel comfortable at first using the bank in a foreign country because of scams and frauds. Like, I just wanted to be careful, but it was totally fine using the bank. There are people lined up using the bank. They have a lot of ATM machines, so there's no issues with using the bank. I actually ran out of pesos when I was there, so I had to use the bank, and it was totally fine. They did charge me a transaction fee. Was $2.48, but it's really not bad. And the exchange rate at the banks were about $16.40 or $16.50. So that's not $17, but that's really close. That's better than 13. So don't exchange at the airport. So my first tip is really important because a lot of restaurants, local restaurants, only accept pesos. They only accept pesos. So this is why you can use the bank in case if you run out of money. Restaurants by the beach, Los Playas Muertes beach, they will accept card. The very popular seafood restaurant that I went with my mother called the Blue Shrimp accept cards. Some of the souvenir shops by the Malcon Boulevard accept cards. Certain places it's only pesos. And they also do accept, certain places accept US dollars because again, Puerto Vallarta really relies on tourism. So some people, because you're right by the water, some people will get off the cruise and they'll only have US dollars to spend. So they do, accept US dollars certain places. But just keep in mind, local restaurants, mostly, it's only pesos. So I know I talked about this earlier, but Uber was fantastic there. They don't have Lyft, it's only Uber, which I recommend using. Again, if you can walk. If not, you can take the Uber. They do have the local buses, but it's not really structured. I mean, I think you can find your way. You can ask the driver, like, hey, this is where I want to go. Can you let me know when to get off? But we just didn't want to go through that and trying to find the bus stop and all that and there's no time to get lost, okay? We had an itinerary. So we just took the Uber, and where we were going wasn't even that far, and that's why like the Uber rides were like $3-4 each. So keep in mind, you can use Uber, you can use a taxi too. Some of them don't have meters, so just keep that in mind. And I feel like it's safer to use Uber because the driver information's on there, your information's on there, so it's perfect. But yeah, Uber was great. So utilize it in case if where you need to go is not walkable, but it's also like not too far to drive. Okay. So something similar happened in Dubai, which is panhandling. Again, like I said before, Puerto Vallarta relies on tourism. So the fact that you travel to Mexico, they think that you're rich and they'll take advantage of you. Everybody is looking for a tip. Let me give you an example. So we went ziplining, right? We got picked up and dropped off at a meeting point. The driver wanted a tip. Then we got to the ziplining place. We had 2 tour guides. They wanted a tip. Okay, so that's 3 people so far. Then of course for ziplining, you can't, cameras are not allowed, photos are not allowed. Because of course they want your money, so they have a camera person taking pictures for you. The camera person wanted a tip. The photos, for 10 photos, only 10 photos were $50, okay? That's 4 people. Then tequila tasting was a part of the ziplining experience. I don't drink tequila, I don't know nothing about it. It was horrible. When I inhaled it, I couldn't even drink it. But tequila tasting was maybe no more than 5 minutes long. He wanted a tip. That's 5 people so far. It was really hot. We had an hour to wait. There was a lot of flies. I did not want to eat there. I wanted to eat back at the hotel. We ordered food. There was no service. There was no waiter. We just ordered the food. It was to go. They wanted a tip. That's 6 people so far. Now, of course, all of them want a good tip. So imagine you paying each of them $20. 20 times 6. That's a lot of money. And mind you, before we went there, we already paid for the tours. This is just extra money that they want. The same thing happened with horseback riding. They had a driver, right? And then the people cooked for us. They wanted a tip. Okay, it's a restaurant. I get it. All right? It's just like, how much money are we going to give out? You know, we were really running out of pesos. We only had 100 pesos left. I'm like, well, there you go. And 100 pesos is, let me see, because it's only $5. $5 tip is not that bad. But honestly, what we did, because we were running out of pesos and we only had like 200 pesos left, we just folded it and put in the hat that they had for tips. We were just like, I'm just gonna fold it and you'll be fine. But just keep in mind, everybody's looking for money. I'm telling you, like, even at the convenience stores, people were like opening the door for you and they were like asking for change or asking for a tip. Everybody wants money. It's the same thing happened in Dubai. A lot of panhandling. There are gonna be a lot of people who are gonna come up to you on the Malcolm Boulevard or just anywhere you're walking, and they're gonna offer you stuff. Oh, you want a hat? Do you want sunglasses? Do you want a bracelet? Do you want a dress? Do you want pipes? And I kept saying no gracias. They would be like, oh, are you sure it will look cute on you? I said no gracias. I said no gracias, no gracias. I just kept saying no gracias. We're at the beach relaxing. People came up to us asking us to buy mangoes and bracelets and hats, sunglasses. I'm just like, no, gracias, no gracias, no gracias. Honestly, if you see people coming towards you on the beach and you're you know, sitting down relaxing, just fall asleep real quick. Just be like, and then wake up when they're gone. Okay, so I know this is a big thing. When you tell people you're going to Mexico, and my mom and I experienced it when we were telling people we're going to Mexico. They're like, oh, be safe. Are you sure you want to go? The cartels. Puerto Vallarta is very safe. Very, very safe. I felt safe there. People were so friendly and welcoming. I spoke a little bit of Spanish, which I'm sure put smiles on people's faces, and I'm sure like they really appreciated. But I felt extremely, extremely safe there. It's not like Cancun. I know that US troops were sent to Cancun beaches, certain beaches, to protect US citizens. Puerto Vallarta does not have that problem, which I'm very thankful for. So you don't have to worry about safety, because I felt extremely safe there. It's one of the safest places to visit. One thing to keep in mind, so apart from the panhandling, taxi drivers. I'm telling you, there were taxis driving everywhere. There were taxis parked, just waiting for someone who needed a ride. I'm telling you, if you look in the direction of a taxi driver, they're like, oh, you need a taxi? I'm like, sir, I'm just looking in your direction. I don't need a taxi. If I need a taxi, I would have come up to you. People are going to ask you, oh, you need a taxi? Oh, where do you need to go? Don't tell them anything, just keep walking. Or you can say no gracias. My mom got so annoyed one time. We were standing at the corner waiting for our driver because we were going, I think it was horseback riding. And a taxi driver comes by and he shouts at my mom. He's like, oh, you need a taxi? And I was like, no! It was the funniest thing. I'm like, calm down, mother, but it's because she was so annoyed, because that day, I mean, that day and previous days, we even asked maybe like 20 times if you want a taxi. Keep that in mind. Don't make eye contact with the taxi drivers unless you want an actual taxi. So keep that in mind. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.